Hello and welcome to Personal Injury. Today I am your host, Brandy McMichael, here with Dr. Brad Poppie. In this episode of Personal Injury today, we're going to be talking about the number one reason a life care planner can break your case. Dr. Poppie, what do life care planners do?
So a life care planner is a retained expert, okay, that will help to showcase and document impairments, future impairments, costs associated with the care of those future impairments through life expectancy. So they author basically a thesis, very long report on that client's needs so that they educate the insurance company on what they're going to need through life expectancy. So they have a clear understanding of the damages that they've incurred due to said collision.
Well, when you say life expectancy, like that sounds so kind of morbid. What do you mean by the life expectancy?
The CDC puts out a quarterly publication called the National Vital Statistics, which is the birth and death rate. So life care planners go by that publication to determine if someone is X age, they have a life expectancy of Y.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, they may live more than that, of course, or less, but that's just kind of the general,
Right.
standards that they go by.
Right. Okay. Well, when should attorneys get the life care planner involved?
I always really like when attorneys get me involved very early in the case, because I can really help to kind of steer that ship, from a medical and rehabilitative standpoint, to really help them to see things that they're not seeing and they're not understanding within the case. So making sure their client, they may have been triaged in the ER based on their broken leg and broken arm from their accident. But guess what? They kind of forgot about their traumatic brain injury. Well, that's kind of important, right?
Right.
So that person now is struggling at work because they're forgetting things or forgetting meetings. They're forgetting to pick up their kids at school. That's not a good thing.
Right.
So it's like making sure that the attorney understands, hey, this person has not had a neuropsychological evaluation. Okay, so we got to make sure we get them to a neuropsychologist to document those impairments. And then, of course, recommend future care for their cognition, right? So getting them involved early is always optimal. And that way they can author a very thorough, very valid report, and they're not having to scramble and call treating practitioners that treated the patient at the ninth inning trying to get recommendations to basically add in to their report to really showcase all of the impairments and the future care needed.
Right. So get them in early on in this process.
Yes, absolutely.
My last question, Dr. Poppie, is the litigation phase too late to get the life care planner involved?
It's really not. It's the most popular phase to get the life care planner involved. But again, I don't know how many times I've had an attorney call and say they need a life care plan and they have disclosures due in a month, and that's where they need to disclose everything to the opposing counsel and insurance company of the experts they're going to bring to the table for trial. And again, when you think about a life care plan, you're authoring a 100-page plus report.
Right.
A thesis. So you just don't author that overnight. It takes time, okay? In order to put your name, your stamp on it, it has to be thorough. It has to be legit, okay? It has to be well thought out. Your methodology has to be appropriate for those impairments, disabilities, the care you're recommending, the costing, etc. Not to mention calling different doctors that have treated that patient to get their future care recommendations. They're not waiting by the phone to take my call. They're busy. So you may play phone tag with orthopedic surgeon or neurosurgeon for a week or two. By the time you finally connect and talk about the patient, well, when you're under the gun to get the report out, it creates chaos. So I urge attorneys to, plan ahead and get people like myself involved early. It decreases the stress on everyone's part, and that way we can get a very, very good, thorough, solid report to the finish line and help get it settled in mediation versus trial.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that information, Dr. Poppie. We will see you again on our next episode of Personal Injury Today. Thank you for joining.